How do you mark the spacing on your buttons? Today I'm going to be going over my favorite tool on marking buttons. Hi, I'm Christina and I love to digitally apparel pattern, creating unique pieces of wearable art. And today I'm going to talk about my favorite tool for buttons. It is a button spreader. I know a lot of different people have a lot of different names for this, but I always call it a button spreader. And it's one of those that it equally goes out and in, and it will equally be able to mark your buttons. I also know I've also used it for marking my hooks and bars. I've also used it for marking snaps, very similar to buttons, but it's something that is very handy. If you take a closer look on it, you can see that there are 8 slots for the buttons. Now, if you want to have more than 8 slots of your buttons, all you have to do is figure out how many you know how many buttons you want, but then you want to figure out the spacing, and then you can leave it set. You can mark these 8, move it over, and mark your next 8, depending on how many buttons you do. It does spread out to about 24 inches wide. We'll get that back. So it's about 24 inches wide, which makes it, I actually don't know off the top of my head, let's grab a ruler, about 3.5 inches. I could have divided that in my head, but I didn't. So it makes it about 3.5 inches between each button when it is fully expanded. And then it can go everywhere in between as I slowly move it in. This is one of those tools that I definitely highly recommend if you are going to be using buttons a lot, or if you're going to be using hooks and eyes to go all the way down. It makes it so that you can have that exact spacing between your buttons without doing all the calculations in your head. If you have a pattern that does that for you, then you don't need one of these. But if you are creating your own patterns, or you're wanting to add, you know, a 5th or 6th button onto a pattern that already exists, having that top and bottom button placement, all you would have to do is put one button on the top, one button on the bottom, and ease it so that they're perfectly centered, and remark your buttons. If you are interested in getting this tool, I will definitely have a link for it down below, and you can find it on Amazon. I would love to know that if you have ever used a button spreader, if you like it, or if you're excited to get the button spreader and try it out for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe so you can see other sewing tool reviews, so you know what tools you should get and what tools, you know, may not be the best. I hope to see you in some of my other videos. Happy sewing!